You're tuned into Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul-forward living. Join your host, Jess Juntanen, quantum healer, intuitive, and midwife to the awakening spirit, as we dive into quantum tools, wisdom teachings, and integrated healing pathways for transformation. You can live a life of freedom to be without limitation. Cozy up, grab your tea, and enjoy this hour of expansion, wisdom, and love. Namaste and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. I'm Jess Juntanen, your grateful host for today, this afternoon, Tuesday. Here we go, January in completion mode. And you know, it is a moment that absolutely is, I'm so grateful for, that we're here, that we're sharing. And today I really do want to share in the spirit of authenticity, what it means to really walk and be on the path of self-ascension, what it means to live in the yoga of self-ascension, the alchemy of self-ascension. And, you know, truly, I thank you and bow before each and every one of you for all the gifts that you are sharing in the world, all that you are bringing forward, all that you are birthing, because it is a very, I guess the intersection is here that is asking us to bring forward our truth without doubt, our truth without fear. It is the moment of the lion stepping out of the woods. It is the moment of standing up and saying, you know, I know who I am and I know that I'm here to make a difference and I'm ready to live, be, and experience the truth of myself in action. The yoga of self-ascension is very much a way of life. You know, often we hear the word yoga, and in the West, at least, we think about postures and poses and the ways that, you know, we breathe or meditate. And, you know, that's really is a branch of the ancient science of yoga, is taking care of the body, right? And the temple of the soul as one pathway, one arm. You know, so yoga of self-ascension, while we do have some beautiful, I would call them cosmic or aligned postures that we bring in, it is really about the science of the alchemy of transmutation. It really is about anchoring in our heart as the ascended way of living. It's about coming to our heart and guiding ourselves from there, opening up our divine galactic blueprint in order to be connected, in order to receive, in order to know our truth. And it's about stabilizing the body of form, coming into union with it, you know? So it is a process of alchemy. It's a process of really remembering ourselves, because as we're born into this world, as we pass through the veil of forgetfulness, we forget why we took our mission. We forget why we came here. It's extremely difficult to navigate this world where we are so solid, so three-dimensional, that you know, we knew we would need markers and reminders on the way to remember who we are. So it is, we learn all these complex belief structures and systems, and that we're separate. And we learn all these things at a young age that most of us do forget by the time we are grown children, 8, 9 years old. We start to really have forgotten our true nature and doubt ourselves, and all those beliefs are actively in play, right? The yoga of self-ascension allows us to rewire, transform, move through and beyond those symptoms of forgetfulness. It allows us that pathway to remember who we really are. So it really is a pathway, and it's a pathway of 4 steps that are an ever refining cycle of experience. We're always going to be going through one of these 4 key steps. And the yoga of self-ascension really, blends. It's not dogmatic. It's not telling you how you have to do anything anyway. It's a guide. And I find that it really is beautiful as a way of relating to anything in our world and anything that we encounter. It becomes a way of being and not a way of doing. So those 4 steps, they aren't in order. They are always evolving, always refining, and they are surrender. They are to release judgment. They are unconditional love. They are to be in sacred union and sacred union with the self and the soul. So notice, maybe what part of that evolution you're in right now. Because at any moment, we really might be experiencing, needing to be in a deeper surrender. As 2022 has galloped off, how has your 2022 been? January is at a fast pace. It's absolutely incredible. And as it's galloping forward and we're all, I don't want to say we're hanging on because there's a difference in hanging on and riding the rocket ship that it is. So if you feel like you're hanging on, you can barely keep up with it. Lift up to here, lift up to your multidimensional presence, where you're able to ride the rocket, ride the flow. That's the way I love to put it. And beautiful ones. It is that moment where it is not ready, set, go. It's just go. Not forget ready. I mean, you're already said ready. It's just go mode. And notice as you're in this, what kind of part of this energy of transformation you're in? Is it surrender that you're finding yourself really needing to move into? Surrendering is all about releasing our ego and embracing our soul. So, in the surrender of ego comes the emergence of soul and surrendering over to spirit, soul, however you look at that. It's that moment of, I am going to honor that which I really am. And I'm not going to uh, listen and behave in accordance with the whims of my ego because it will always be fueled with doubt, fueled with fear, fueled with elements of density that are going to hold you back, and they're going to make it very difficult to transcend, ascend, uh, outside of the victim triangle, outside of that space of uh, real, you know, I guess it's the trap, because the ego is going to continually feed you things. So it is surrendering that again and again. Like, I surrender, and the ego is not going to like the idea of that. And I'm going to step into my true nature. I'm going to step into the gift of who I really am. And, in this moment as well, it is uh, powerful that there's also the other beautiful piece of unconditional love. What are you dancing with there? How are you dancing with the unconditional love of yourself, of the universe, of your true nature? What is it for you that is asking you to love more? Maybe you feel like you've surrendered into a deeper trust, but you need to really come into an unconditional love for yourself, your body, this lifetime, for everything that you've been through and everything you are and everything to come. No conditions. Can you look at the world and love every expression of the all? We have our judgments about, well, that's beautiful, but that's not beautiful. Can you be in the unconditional love of everything, even that which appears to be horrific? And can you honestly gaze in the mirror and give yourself that unconditional love? And then releasing judgment. Is that a place in your process that you're finding yourself in. Like I said, it's like there's like a magnifying glass on us in January that's saying, what's being reflected here? If I'm not comfortable in my situation or what's happening in my world, or I'm feeling triggered a lot, where am I going to lean in here? Is it about needing to surrender more? Is it about the unconditional love? Maybe I need to release judgment to ourselves first and foremost. Always, we're so hard on ourselves. Are you hard on yourself? Do you talk to yourself in a more harsh way than you would ever talk to anybody else? Right? It's that time of really releasing the judgments, really releasing and setting free yourself so that you may fly, so that you may uh, be the gift of who you really are. And release judging others, release judging the illusion. Again, it goes back to like what's beautiful, what's not beautiful, what's okay, what's not okay. All the expressions are serving the emergent oneness, because without all the expressions, it's like we've been on this slingshot uh trajectory, and we're curving back around and coming back to oneness. We've gone as far as we can in the experience of density, experiencing all elements, all ways of being, and it's been fascinating. It's the playground, it's the place we've all been just uh playing in and having a good old time, and we're being asked right now to wake up and really become the responsible uh shepherds versus the children in the sandbox fighting, right? And to release the judgment of how everything looks, because it's exactly perfect at the same time, without density and all the experiences of it, and the allness and the richness of it, would oneness be able to reemerge. And it is a choice. It is something that we're always actively having to choose, because it's nothing's really is decided. Where humanity is, where the planet is, what we're doing. So every choice you make, every moment you're saying yes, I mean, you are absolutely in the energy of divine creation. No matter where your focus is, no matter where your energy is, you are in divine creation energy. And it is a potent, powerful, amazing place that we're in. And it can equally be terrifying. It can easily be overwhelming. So it's always that moment where we get to choose again and again where we're putting our creation energy. And to be in sacred union, to be in union energy is so powerful. This step of self ascension sometimes can trip us up, because we think of union as being ourself and another. Well, that's certainly a beautiful truth. The truth is being in union with you. And is that a piece that's coming up for reflection for you in your life right now? Like, where do you need to really honor and love this body of form for all that it does for you? That it is the temple of the spirit, of the soul. Where do you need to honor more your own heart, your own spirit? How can you come into a place of balance with the earthly and the uh, universal? Because when we want to just live in that space of like, I want to be in my multidimensional space, forget about all this earth stuff and paying bills and, chop wood, carry water. What's up with all of that? That is part of the experience and why we came here too. So it's integrating. I know many healers and spiritual beings, myself included, when I really reawoke to the gifts and knowings, was that, oh, you just don't want to have to deal with being here. And we might carry a lot of like dislike for our own body and our own form. Like, I don't like you, I hate you, all the critical things we say. It's just like that's such a denial of our divine essence as well. It's all our divine essence, and we must come into a unity. So as we're in this last week of January, which is just wild. I feel like every time I come together for something, we go, holy cow, look at the time. I mean, we know time is irrelevant, but we also have things in the density world that we keep track of, appointments and such. And when the bills are due, and it just kind of just feels remarkable to me. It's like, didn't I just do all those things and here we are again? So it's definitely a fascinating dance, is it not, that we are doing here. So where is it in the yoga of self-ascension that you feel is calling to you to lean into more? Is it the surrender into your spirit? Is it the unconditional love? Is it the release of judgment? Is it the coming into sacred union? And you notice sometimes you hang out in one area of this where you really are needing to apply that, and you see the interconnection between the steps and that they're not really separate. So it's a good invitation to really be feeling into that. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely incredible that we're here in this moment. This was not always, a guarantee that we would get to this point. So it's because of your continued yes and your energy towards co-creation that we really are able to, uh, be with each other. And I'm trying to see. I'm gonna hold off for a second here. So as I'm sharing, I'm looking for a file to share as I'm speaking, and welcoming everybody. If you're over at YouTube, or you're over at Facebook, hello and welcome in. I see so many beautiful thanks, Lars. Union equals soul fusion. Uh, I love that. Pauline, hello. Thank you, Yvonne. Hello. Beautiful. I think we could remove some bots that are in here. Hi, Angela. Incredible, isn't it? Gary, hi. So, oh, it's wonderful. Hi, Tracy. Alehia, beautiful. Okay, so I promise you, I'm trying to pull up something I wanted to share today. And, we do have the call board open if you would like to call in if you have a question. A sharing. I would love to hear how your path and journey of self ascension and coming home to you is going. I would love to absolutely hear that. Oh, look, we do have someone on the line right now. Hey, welcome in. Looks like we've got Canada here on the line. Come on in. Let's bring you in. Hello. Are you there? No, I don't hear you. No. I don't know if your sound is turned on, but I see you and I am not hearing. So I'll mute you again. Let's see if anyone else calls in, if it's a problem with the call board or not. But all my systems, it looks like uh, we are good right now. So, really, I'd love, share it in the chat if you want. Where are you at in your journey? Or if you want to call in and share, is it about the surrender for you right now? Is it about releasing the judgment? Is it your sacred union? Is it, about coming into that unconditional love for yourself? And um oh goodness, you guys, I promise you, I'm bringing up something I want to bring up. And as you are feeling into that moment, and feel into your January, where you've been so far and where you might be going, uh where are things landing for you? And I don't know if I'm going to succeed in this or not. I'm a Zoom expert, but not a Restream expert. So, yay, and where are you in your January? Where are you in your journey? What's coming for you? And, this really is the year of transcending the victim triangle. This is what I'm trying to pull up to share with you all. And this is something amazing, that comes forward from my teachers. And I know many of you that are here, your teachers, Master Lady Kira Ra and wisdom teacher Sri Ramka. And the energy of the victim. I hope you're seeing my screen. It shows that I'm sharing. So the energy of the victim triangle, right? I mean, this is what we're transcending. This is yoga of self-ascension 101, what it supports us to really do. Because when I talked about being in the energy of the victim, right? And that we transcend that, that there's this triangle of the victim, abuser, rescuer. And it really is a uh, dangerous place to be in. And it's that place, as I was talking about, where we're all born into and we're all part of, and that we all must transcend during this lifetime. And it really is an energy that has us so wrapped up, that has us so entranced that we are unable to see it most of the time, and it's so subtle. It's at first it all makes sense and you think, "Oh yeah, I've got it." You can see how people interplay and you can see yourself, right? When you're feeling like uh, the victim consciousness, and whether that manifests as the abuser, rescuer, victim. But really notice how subtle this can be in your own life and world. And I'm just hopping over in the chat and seeing a few other shares. Good morning, beautiful Alice. And Lars, I feel it's a challenge to hold the intense energies streaming in. I would also advise just let go. But it's wild. It's really, isn't it wild? I mean, it can be very intense, and some of the ascension symptoms are um, cooking and amping up. And tune into Sunday when Shri and Kira come back live on the air this Sunday at noon Eastern, because I know they're going to be talking about a lot of this. And we have February coming in. Yvonne, where you're at in self-ascension journey, unconditional love and releasing judgment, keeping clear and much happier. I love that. Incredible. Yeah, great. Yeah, tune in Sunday. So yeah, and that energy of victim consciousness, it's huge on our planet right now. It's so huge. It's like completely got its hooks in everything, in every aspect. So paying attention to, where does that subtly manifest? Sometimes we see the obvious around it 'cause it's everywhere. And this is what we get born into. This is why we forget who we are, because we learn that we must be a victim, and there must be an abuser, and that we must rescue other people. And as the lost books of the Essene share, the lion stepping out of the woods, it is absolutely that empowered moment of, we don't chase others. We are not being chased. We are not afraid. We are standing on the field and saying, I am here. I'm here, and that is transcending every bit of that victim energy. And as we do transcend that, if my screen share does work, this is the transformation. The transformation. This is why it is the year of the teachers. The victim transforms into the teacher. The rescuer transcends into a healer. The abuser becomes the mentor, right? This is the moment that we're standing at. And we are all these aspects. There's no way that you ever play just one of these roles. We switch around. And, notice how much that abuser can be the self-abuser, especially for, those of us that really try to model such love and kindness to others, that we are often the abuser to ourselves, and you may put yourself in alignment with people that abuse, and it is how you transcend and lift past it. And the victim voice, it's taught to us to be so disempowered. That's just what we learn. The language of this world as it's been for so long, and all of the fears and beliefs coming around that. So it is about being nakedly authentic, and how Master Lady Kira Ra and Sri Ramka talk about this. It's being so honest with yourself. Like, why hide anything? If you find yourself in a moment where you're so triggered, that means you went into the victim triangle somewhere. If you're experiencing a big trigger to an event, interaction, anything, and it's just kind of funny. I like think about one of my nephews, and he got hurt by the door slammed on him, and he was so angry at the door, this stupid door, and so mad. And it makes me think myself too, like, you stub your toe or something, you might be like, this explicative table, and it is, that's where like the victim consciousness rises up. You see it right away. It's like, this object did this to me, it's like, notice, like, those are like, it's just so cute. I loved when he was so mad about it, but it's uh it's subtle sometimes, we don't even maybe realize we're triggered immediately, but when you're not feeling a connection to an actual state of peace or love or joy in your being, there's some kind of life script operating, and there is some kind of trigger that's occurred. And there's like some element that is the victim, and the forgiveness that's needed for ourselves and the mercy is huge. We're dealing with, generations and lineages of trauma or pain. We're dealing with so many life scripts and things that were just programmed into us when we were developing our brains. And we can absolutely reprogram, but we do have to be conscious. That's why the yoga of self-ascension supports us so much. It helps us to actually reprogram our consciousness. It really is that time to break free. And I love this, what you're sharing, Alice. Also, I've been clearing out a nuance of victim through the awareness of having wanted to be vindicated, wanting others to recognize the part others played, past experience. Ooh, it has been such an aha. That's powerful. And it's yeah, wanting to be vindicated, validated, right? Having others recognize or see it, because then our experience will be uh valid, that we were done wrong. And boy, that's just such a common feeling. And if we go through trauma, I mean, I know this one for my own self, having gone through severe traumatic experiences. Like, I know all of you have gone through your own traumas. There's no way to get through this life of humanness without having being born here as a trauma. It's the most amazing place, but boy, we just go through some things. And but in that whole orientation, right, it's just like, I've been wronged. And it doesn't excuse perpetrators, it doesn't excuse anything that happened. And that's always one, again, it's another subtle element of the whole triangle, is that it's okay to know something wasn't right and hurt you. We can't spiritually bypass and just say, oh, it was all for the oneness, and I'm so grateful. You have to work through what you have to work through, but keeping in mind that when we learn these tools and these understandings, it helps us transmute. That's why it's an alchemy. It supports you to transmute the energies. So I mean, so many things that can really help us. We can have these logical diagrams and ideas and understandings, but then we need to integrate it, because it helps to give our brain a framework to understand. It's helpful to teach, discuss, be in a space where read about it and understand it more, but then we have to move it into practice, right? So that's where all these beautiful practices like yoga can support us. The yoga of self ascension has actual postures that go with as well, right? To activate ourself and our light and move our energy. We have beautiful jewelry like rudraksha seeds and things like that that support our body and well being. We learn to find the markers and the energies that support us, and really be in your steadfast commitment this year. It is very much about focus on your path, and the teaching and what's resonant for you. And I feel that self ascension is bar none the most incredible pathway on the planet to really embrace and walk along. It's a big moment. It's a big moment, and we really are experiencing so many up levels, so much beauty, so much opportunity to shed all those last um, deeper pieces of victim consciousness that might still be hiding out. And if we feel we need to have uh, anybody outside of us to tell us that we're okay, that you're going to be all right. I mean, yes, the universe is always telling you that. Your guides are always telling you that, but it won't matter if you don't believe it inside fully for yourself. And you know, the um the energy of this, humanity and dogma, and this beautiful article that Shri and Kira published back a few weeks ago, not even with the full moon. Maybe that was a week ago, the full moon. And if you're at the full moon ceremony, we read through that article, and you can find it on their website in the articles section, or shoot me an email or message, and I'm happy to send you a link to it. But yeah, is humanity really ready to move past this moment of dogma? Dogma is so strong on our planet, and it's so entrenched in this victim consciousness. It is, the energy of like, this is the right way, this is the way we do it. And you see it in some of the most beautiful traditions that evolved as connection to soul and earth and spirit. And when that happened, when that evolved, it interestingly, over time, a lot of those traditions become dogmatic, because then density starts to really have its way. These beautiful openings and frameworks get laid for exploring the soul and self, and then density comes in and says, "Yeah, no, shut it down, shut it down, and let's just make rules around this. This is the way you talk to spirit. This is the way you must do it. And this is how you must do this pose or posture. This is how you must be." And it's not even just in religious context, right? It's in just everywhere. Rules within society, the norms. Look at how many places that you might just be operating like, why am I making this choice right now? And it might have come from some kind of dogmatic belief that you've taken on about money or time or anything else. Again, it's that, be transparent with yourself. Where am I? What am I feeling? Because you don't have to know how to answer the question, but just by asking the question and being observant and aware of what arises, you give yourself the opportunity to touch the truth. It's through the inquiry, it's through the opening, it's through just honestly gazing at and looking at that you actually experience the lift into uh, the full knowing of yourself. That's where it happens. You have to be aware to have the lift. You can't know what you're not aware of. And it doesn't need to be scary to look, and just keep looking underneath. Like, what's behind this feeling? What's behind this emotion? What's behind what I'm experiencing? With a curiosity, like, oh, so, no need to be stressed or worried or concerned about what you have to do about it. Because if there is something to be done, quote unquote, it's going to come from an inspired action place, from having deeply honored yourself in whatever is present and whatever is arising. And that beautiful question that I know we've been flowing with in Divine Mastery Presence journey, those of you that are part of that journey, and if you're not, you can still get into it. The Divine Mastery Presence journey is giving us this opportunity to really uh, step fully into what in me invited this to be. That's a great transparency question. If you're feeling really joyful, what in me invited this to be? If you're feeling really unhappy, what in me invited this to be? If you're feeling really tired, what in me invited this to be? That removes you out of the victim energy completely. That puts you into your empowered self. You're just gazing at and looking at what in me invited this to be. And just look at the response with love. Really, really just give yourself that opportunity and that gift. Let's see if our call board is happening now. Okay, I'm going to try back over in Canada. Come on in. Are you there? I still don't hear you. Let me try this other line and see. Okay, wireless caller unknown. Are you there?
Yes, hi, Jess. It's Pauline from New York.
Hi, Pauline.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry I missed your full moon ceremony. I'm wondering if I send you a donation, can I get I guess, a tape of it? Even though I didn't do it live, it still would be as good as being live, right?
Yes, there is a recording, so go ahead and you can send me an email. I can still like just register you for it and give you the link for it. Absolutely. If
Okay,
anyone,
great. So I
yeah,
just make the donation, right? And then it goes through, and just
absolutely.
as if, even though it's a little past the date, or I have to do the email version.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, just get
perfect.
in touch with me.
The
Perfect.
thing I just wanted to ask you, since you're talking about victim, it just occurred to me that, you know how I have kind of funny feeling that well, I don't want to really label them the dark, but it's the dark, okay? I'm always getting into all kinds of accidents, but it's sort of like I overcome it. So in a way, but it seems like I'm saying I'm a victim, which I'm not, because once I realize that I can turn it around, I'm no longer a victim. Is that possibly a truth, or is that just my imagination that the dark is always trying to stop the light? I feel like every time I'm on my journey, something tries to throw, an obstacle is thrown at me to stop me from going further. Or is that just my paranoia, or my
Yeah.
victimhood mentality?
I love this question. So I'm going to explore this. Thank you for bringing this in. I'm just going to mute
Thank you.
you for to keep the line clear. Okay. I love this question and this conversation. So yeah, how do we know when, it's something that might be an interference energy or if it's our victim energy that's kicking in, and I think that question still always applies. What in me invited this to be? Perhaps there is an interference energy, but preoccupation with darkness or what could be there can also invite more of that in. So being preoccupied and looking for it invites that in. Um, but not necessarily so is it because I'm being a victim, this is coming in, or that's my victim consciousness. However, the what in me invited this to be is such a powerful question to ask if you're feeling interference. And I just call it interference, versus like dark and light, because everything really is of the oneness. And the interference energies very specifically will often come, um, it will come if you have victim consciousness, like, if you're in doubt, doubt is an energy of that victim consciousness. And it is the primary way any interference energy comes in. So if there's any doubt, any place where you are just not holding firmly, you are the truth and the light, there is an entry point. And right now, for sure, the energies on this planet, fourth dimensional energies and beings, it is a field day to say, hey, you're shining your light. Let me see if there's some place I can get in through your armor and see to doubt. And that is a very sneaky way for the ego when it starts questioning, is this, my victim consciousness that brought this in? Is this the dark? It's like that's the ego getting really involved in the beautiful questioner that we have living within. So it is that moment to just know, like as the lion steps out of the woods, there's nothing that can absolutely stop you, harm you, hurt you. And it is the release of any preoccupation at all with what's going on in the, you know, dark, light, whatever, and actually just coming into the truth of who you are without any doubt, without any hesitation. And then you just feel like, yeah, maybe an interference energy comes in, but it's a lot more like bounces off your force field versus connecting into some part that's already resonating with some sense of less than or some sense of confusion. I mean, it could be many different ways that that looks or feels. So it's always about coming back into your own heart, coming back into your own space of recognition of I'm a divine master. There's nothing. And when obstacles and things want to come up or throw in your path, sometimes there is that check of uh the universe that says, okay, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you're going to keep walking? Are you sure? Maybe it's something you need to clean up. Maybe it's something you have to walk through or move through as well in order to claim your greater mastery. So there's also obstacles, things, challenges coming up, that's different. You don't have to know like where they came from or why. It's how you move through them and how you embrace the master within that navigates you through that moment and allows you to step further into your divine mastery presence for your that empowered, um, beautiful being that is unaffected by all of the chaos that is happening around. And if it comes in a little bit, it's just that opportunity to level up again. So I hope and trust that supports you. And I think that's such an important question for everybody in discussion. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to hop over to British Columbia. Come on in.
Hi, Jeff. I'm a Canadian, but I wasn't the first caller.
We've got a couple Canadians. Namaste. Hello, this is Yvonne.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Listen, I'm really appreciating this show. I'm so happy I tuned in. I always get you at the very last minute. All of a sudden, I'm surfing, and here you are.
I love that.
Which is delightful. Yes. So I've been working with the statement, what in me has created this to be. And this has changed. So, I mean, it has brought me so much joy because it brings the witnesser in real time.
Yeah.
And for me, like I'm able to, like without judgment, and I'm really working on releasing judgment. I'm finding as we are moving forward in 2022, I can't hold on to what is happening. Like I can't hold on to what I used to think, and it's really obvious to me. And so I'm trying to find new ways of viewing situations, and I'm using a lot of humor in it, and that has served me tremendously. I just want to share that, and but this community is also part of navigating 2022. And last night at Monday Magic, that was a very different program than what we've always had. And well, I do have a small question. Will this be a panel, a group panel now, or are we going to be taking in another one of the books?
Shri and Kira will be back. Shri and Kira will be back on February 7th, and we will be expanding on the teachings of Self-Ascension with our Monday Magics. Yes. So it won't be following. It won't be following the books, but we'll be bringing in different teachings, and they'll be teaching and leading.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
Super. Yeah, I really enjoyed the energy last night. The energy, it was so vibrant, and it was collective, and
oh, I'm so grateful.
I walked away like kind of like with spring in my walk.
Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. We had a Mercury up level moment, so it was a whole way of calling in this community out to warm us up for Shri and Kira in this fascinating moment. I'm so grateful. Yes.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your service. Always a pleasure to be with everyone here.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for calling in, and I really appreciate that you've been being with this divine mastery presence journey, and the what in me invited this to be. It's like you were sharing, Yvonne, and namaste, and thank you for calling in. This is such a powerful place to put us in that witnesser. It is the ultimate witnesser. There's no way to not look at it and be able to observe from that place. It really takes the judgment out of it. And there's something in us that invited this to be, whatever situation we find ourselves in, whatever challenge arises, whatever energy presents, there's some element of why am I here? Why am I here with this? And, I really do. I appreciate that. And it is so opening and supports our upliftment to our mastery presence in so many ways to really be there with this question. I'm going to try to come back over. No, it looks like you dropped off here. Okay, namaste. All right, that call dropped off. So, in this moment of, unity and love. And those of you that were at Monday Magic last night, like Yvonne was sharing, it was this fascinating up level Mercury moment where we really found it was this community moment of coming together. And on February 7th, we come every 2 weeks for Monday Magic now. Master Lady Kira Ra and Wisdom Teacher Sri Ram Ka will be there to share and expand on the teachings of the yoga of self-ascension, to really spend time with. I mean, we followed a book every week out of like different discourses. Not that we may not pull from different discourses and books, uh, but this is really about expanding the teachings of self-ascension support. There will be time to ask questions in real time with Shri and Kira as well. So, do get in and sign up if you haven't signed up for Monday Magic yet, because it's really exciting. And on the 7th, when they come back in, it's going to be so dynamic and rich. And then on Sundays, they are resuming their show, Shri and Kira Live, which was so popular for nearly 20 years. They're going to be back on the air. It's going to be at noon Eastern now, 9 a.m. Pacific. So a little change up in the time, but Sundays as well. And you can always catch that live at, YouTube official Shri and Kira, and we'll put the recordings up over here at Oneness Talk Radio YouTube as well. So it really is incredible, and then the other thing I do really want to invite all to feel into is this incredible moment of March that we are moving towards really fast. I'm so cognizant of January ending. And I'm very involved in this amazing project of bringing together tribes from around the world to a beautiful event at Tosa Blue Mountain in Ecuador, that we're really calling forward the uh, energy of the unified voice. This is very unique. It's not going to be each tribe just present just being in their own ceremony. Every lineage keeper will have a element of their ceremony woven into the matrix of the weekend, 18, 19, 20. And it's going to be this incredible weaving of energies through the weekend until at the culmination on Sunday at the equinox is the unified message for humanity that arises from this event and the tribes. And we have incredible artists and musicians and beings coming in. If you know anyone that's, really got gifts or things to share, let me know. And it's a big moment. So 18, 19, 20, mark your calendar for that. Let me see if I can. YouTube won't let me share a link though. If you go to shriankira.com, it's on the homepage. Together One Voice, to pop in for the weekend live stream is like $22. You can come be on site if you grab a seat quickly and be there in Ecuador. If you have a talent or skill that could maybe support the event, let me know that too, because this is a collaborative effort of all beings to come together and create this. And it's beyond this event. It really is about, I feel like, saving humanity. That word saving is more of a rescue energy, but it is about creating the opportunity for humanity to thrive and for our earth to heal and for us to transcend together into a place of much more harmony, much more that vision so many of us have yearned for. We're at that moment where we're actually making it happen. So this event to me is really about, and to everybody, is about really moving humanity forward. So your energy, your contribution being there is absolutely valuable and needed. It's our time. It's our time to really dig in. There is work to do. There is work to do. It's our personal work and it's our work in the world. Where do you see yourself pitching in and get involved and get out there and use your gifts in the world? That's what we're here to do. So it's that time where we just say, I'm going to get over my own doubt, my own victim stuff. I'm ready to actually be that empowered lioness that steps out of the woods and uh, says yes and makes a difference in the world. And I know you are. I'm so grateful to be here with you. And hey, stay tuned every Tuesday here at noon, Soul Fusion Cafe. Looking forward to the next time we're together. If you need to catch up with me in between, you can go over to selfascensionstudios.com and say hello and reach out to me. I'm happy to say hello and offer you whatever support I may. Namaste. Many blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
You've been listening to Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntinen. Connect with Jess and learn more at her inspiration hub, selfascensionstudios.com, and over on Instagram at JoyLoveJess and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, or over at Facebook at Self-Ascension Studios and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Namaste and many blessings.